What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Internet Girls.
Welcome back. We have a special guest.
A very special guest.
You know and love. This is Kat.
Hi guys, nice to meet you. My name is Katerina. Everybody calls me Kat. If you call me Katerina, I'm very surprised. But I am excited to be here with the girls.
Yes. What's your handle if you want to say your full handle?
So my handle is my full name, which is Katerina Seigel. And that's where you can find me.
Mm-hmm. And we'll include that in the show notes, you guys. So we'll make it clear because Kat's a good time. And you got to follow her, especially after you're going to be listening to her on this episode and hearing all about her exciting life in Philly. You're going to want to follow her.
No, she's such a good time. We actually met her IRL, oh my gosh, almost this time last year.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah, I actually didn't even notice that. So the girl that I brought on the trip that you guys also know, Miss Josie, she just messaged me and was like, oh my gosh, we were in Disney a year ago. It does not feel like it's been that long, right?
No.
It's crazy.
Like so much has happened and also nothing has happened.
Totally.
Yeah, it feels like a different world and like it was yesterday.
Yeah, that was so much fun. For those of you who weren't following us at the time, Kat and I were in a Disney influencer program, which was a 9-week Disney class. I mean, it was more like influencer tips and tricks. It was very, I would say, beginner level. I think a lot of us were we do this full time. We're professionals. We kind of already know this stuff. But the best part was honestly connecting with other creators. We made so many friends. And then at the end of the program, they brought us all to Disney World and on a little 3-day Disney cruise where we all became besties. And I brought Tori as my +1 and we just had the best time. So
it was a blast. It really was. We were lucky. I said the same thing. They called us the cohort. The cohort was I don't know, I mean, do I feel like we maybe picked up some tips and tricks? Sure. I'm not, I don't know if I was oh my God, I'm a new person from this course, but I mean, going to Disney for work was definitely a very cool gig. And I feel like this job is so solo sometimes, you know what I mean? It's kind of isolating. So getting to be together was so nice.
Yeah. I always feel on any kind of brand trip or anything like that, you're almost oh my gosh, there's more of us. And
definitely.
And my favorite part about those kind of experiences too is there's no shame in whipping out your phone. There's no shame in filming yourself. You're I can do this in peace without judgment,
And the amount of conversations we had about taxes. Tori, Tori was going up. She was going up to every single creator. She was so who does your taxes? Tell me everything. I was girl, I'm seizing an opportunity here.
Well, taxes were about to come up and I had no one to do my taxes and I was shit.
Guys, I have the most kick-ass tax girl if anyone needs a rec. She's literally a young woman. She's 40, has 2 little kids, does all women entrepreneurs. And I love her. We get on Zoom and she's hey, bitch. I'm what's up?
Amazing. See, this is why it's so good to connect. We have to share our tips and tricks. It's such a solo job, but I love it.
No, totally. I did find my tax guy from that trip too, which I like him, but he more so does entertainment people. And I feel he's not giving me as much of the breaks as someone who's specialized in influencers. You know what I mean?
100%.
That's important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
definitely.
Maybe
I had this girl before who was basically was you can't ever write off clothes. And I was so I buy clothes strictly to film things.
Yeah, exactly. That is work.
It is work product, I would never, and I feel you guys probably say the same thing. I know you do, Tori, on your stories and stuff. I would never shop like this if I wasn't sharing so much. I would never. It's so overwhelming. I hate it.
Oh my gosh, you should see. And I feel bad about it. The other day I was watching a documentary about waste and I was
me too.
I have to turn this off because what am I supposed to do? This is also my job. I'm part of the problem and I fully realize that, but it's also what do I do?
It's a sticky middle ground, I think, to be in because it's you want to be able to share things that are current so that people can buy them, because otherwise it's not as helpful for them. But it is hard because you also don't want to be I don't want to be like the person that makes people feel like they have to always be buying something. Cause like if I wasn't sharing, I wouldn't live like that, you know? So I
Yeah.
think it's just like finding a middle ground.
Yeah.
But it's also super unfortunate because I feel like when it comes to like affiliate marketing where you're making money off of people buying this stuff, like the brands who really pay you the most are like those big brands that you also don't want to support. So it's such a catch-22, like Amazon. It's like, oh, I just made so much money off of Amazon from like one video going viral, but also I don't want to support Amazon, but like this is my job. Like, what do I do?
No, like honestly, on that trip, that like inspired me. I never like created Amazon content before that trip, but I was talking to like all the girls who do Amazon stuff on that trip, and I was like, Hannah and I left that trip where like we're inspired. We put in Amazon orders.
Well, Amazon is it's such a good platform. And I'm sure, I know we've talked about this before together, Tori, like compared to LTK. If people listening are familiar, so LTK, you can pretty much link anything. Amazon's just Amazon. But LTK, I think, is like a harder one for people because you have to go to an app. Amazon, they just go to Amazon. I'm like, that is too easy. And they make it so good for you too. So I know I'm in the middle of it all the time. I will say there's a lot of like, I'm sure you guys have seen like handmade on Amazon and like small businesses on Amazon too. So as much as people love to shit on Amazon as a whole, which like I totally get, there's also plenty of small businesses really benefiting from Amazon. So
yeah,
you know.
and
I
also,
love that.
and not only that, but like it is more affordable, and like a lot of Americans like can't afford right now to like buy a Free People like sweater every other month, you know. So like it is like the affordable option out there for Americans,
and it also feels like almost the least problematic affordable option because like I'm in some of these like Facebook groups for like new moms and stuff, and they're like, where can I get baby stuff? And everyone's like, Temu, Shein. And I'm like, oh, like I didn't know we were like on that train. Like I was gonna say thrift store. Like I didn't know we were doing Temu.
No, totally. My mom is like definitely like a Temuer, and it's super, super interesting. The shit you get on Temu is crazy. It's like $1.
Absolutely
and it'll
crazy.
be like a bed frame. You're like, that doesn't really seem to add up.
Interesting.
Oh my god. I have recently come to the realization that LTK, I know you just mentioned LTK, I think it's a cult. I personally think it's a
100%.
And no one
LTK Con.
That. Yeah. Like people are talking about it like it's like a normal thing just for linking stuff and like it's like underground. No, it's like culty vibes. Like I took one of their calls finally and I was like, oh, this is fully like
they do not let you say anything negative. I had a call recently, like, you know how you can get like a rep, I have like a rep, whatever. And she was like, I'm seeing you not linking as much on LTK. And I was like, girl, I'm going to be so real with you. Like, Amazon is a better platform. ShopMy is a better platform for creators. Like, do you think LTK is going to keep doing these things? And she was like, no, but if you keep linking places like that, you kind of get on LTK's shit list. Like, you know, you can get ranked on LTK. You can get ranked lower by using other platforms.
You're kidding.
Doesn't that seem illegal?
That's sus.
No, it's giving MLM. It's giving cult. Like it's giving like bad vibes. Like from that call, I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was, and I was like so surprised that no one really talks about it like that. Like, and I guess people don't want to get on their shit list.
Like, and I think LTK Con too. Have you guys ever asked about this? So me and my friend Kelsey had a podcast a couple years ago, and she is one of those people that just has like amazing engagement. You know, she has like 1 million followers now. She deserves it all. She's literally amazing. But she didn't get invited to the con. And I remember she searched into it and was like, this is so weird. Like, I'm pretty successful on this platform. Like, I'd love to go to the conference. And they were like, so it's not revenue driven. It's not like stats driven. It's literally who we think deserves it. And I remember we were both like, like it's like a popularity contest.
It's literally a popularity contest. And I feel like there's like a little LTK clique. Like there's like several cliques, but I follow like one specific clique and they always go together and they go to all the events and they're like just these girls who constantly are like buying and sharing and they must go through like so much. Like the amount of clothes that we're sharing is literally nothing compared to the amount that these girls are sharing. And I'm like, that's why you're so beloved by LTK, because you're bringing in so much freaking money for them. And so obviously you're like going and you're like benefiting off of this, but like to what cost, you know?
100%. Yeah. And I always think too, like, don't they want the people that like maybe are working their way up in the program to be the ones that learn how to do better, not the people that are like already
Already doing well.
millionaires, you know?
Exactly. But yeah, learning on the
Right there.
Disney trip, like how much you can make, like I had no idea that people were making like $30,000-$40,000 a month from this, like just an affiliate, not from brand deals. Like that is an insane amount of money
And
to
like
be
on
making
the
from affiliate
regular, like not just like,
every
oh,
month.
I had a good month, like consistently about that much money every month from just linking.
No,
Like,
it's I think like this industry is like a really big surprise for a lot of people. And like I sometimes I hate to talk about it because then I think people think everyone's like absolutely kicking it and like that's absolutely not the case. Like, you know what I mean? Most people it's just like a good regular salary, whatever, you get to enjoy your life, have a job you like. Some people though are literally like I just don't think people understand. When you hear from some people, you are jaw dropped. It's like money that you're like, "Oh my gosh," like not even people that are like surgeons are like doing that well. You know what? And you're just like a girly, a Midwest, sweet Midwestern girly.
Yeah.
It's like always a surprise.
no,
And it's also not, it's not even the people who have like 1 million followers all the time too. You can have like 100,000 followers on Instagram and you're still making $30,000-$40,000 a month. That's crazy. No one sees that coming if you're not in that industry, I swear.
yeah, but you know what's crazy to me is it's like consistently, the fact that it's consistently, it's like, what are all these like new, is everyone just like buying your stuff every month? Like I don't understand it, like from a
It's just
logistic
like volume. You know what I mean? Like they have so many people. Like let's say if you have like, I feel like the tip of the iceberg. I don't know if you guys think this too. I have like I don't know 25K on LTK, nothing crazy. I think if you have like 150 plus followers on LTK, so in the app, I feel like that's when you're really probably crushing because think about how many people are seeing your new content all the time. Like I thought the same thing as you, Tori. Like, are this many people shopping? I think it's just like volume. Like even if you get I don't know, 20% of those people to shop at least once a week. That's a ton of money.
It has to be because I recently had this video go viral on TikTok and it was for a supplement that like I think got me pregnant. So like obviously it did very well and I sold like I don't know 300-400 units of this thing on Amazon. I think I made $400 or $500. So I'm like, I'm sorry. And that video got almost 1 million views. I'm like, how are these people making like $30,000 when I just made like 500 and then Amazon gave me like a nice little bonus? Like, cool. Okay. What?
Totally. It doesn't seem like it like adds up to be enough. I 100% agree with you. And even on LTK, I'm sure you guys have realized it. Like some brands' commission rates are different. Target's is like notoriously bad. Like just like you said, Han, I had like a viral video once. I sold like 1,000 things. I made like $100. I was like,
the math ain't mathing.
so like, the math is not mathing.
So that's the thing. It's like just because you're using our link, like sometimes it doesn't mean we're out here making $30,000, but like some people are. Not us though.
We don't know why either, you know?
Like, yeah, if you know, tell us.
Yeah, crack the code for
Please.
us.
But like these conversations are so fun because like you don't get to have them unless like you're around other creators, and like we would have never like embarked on this kind of stuff or even known about like it, that much unless like going on these influencer trips, which is like why I think that they're important for like a whole other reason. Because like people also think, I think there's like a misconception with brand trips that like people get paid and stuff like to go on these trips, and chances are like it's not. But and maybe even like Disney might not be other people's things, but like people would go on pretty much any kind of trip for not just the trip itself, but for this kind of thing, you know?
Okay, wait. How did we even get invited to this, Kat?
That's a good question. Was it just like the culmination of the program? Did everybody get invited? Now that you have me thinking about, okay, so I think the reason that we went is because we were part of this program, right? Which there was like 30 of us. Like 100 other people got invited though. How did they get invited?
Yeah, and like not all were like Disney creators, but that's why I don't even understand how we got into this program because I remember okay, our first call we get on and we're like doing icebreakers and they're like, who's your favorite like Disney character? I'm Googling. I'm sitting there like, who is my favorite? I'm like,
Literally, same.
what is Disney? Like, and then Kat goes, she's like, yeah, I'm not like a huge Disney creator. And I was like, this is my girl. Like, this is my girl.
You're like, I
You
found
made
her.
me
I
feel
did find.
seen.
And all these people had like these most niche Disney answers. And I was like, why am I here? I don't belong here. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know anything.
I like said that to them in the beginning. I'm sure you got the same call, Han, in the beginning when they were like thinking about people to like, you know, invite or whatever in the program. I like said, I was like, I'm gonna be so real. Like, I don't really Disney like very much, but like I still think it's really cool. Like I was like, Disney's such a huge you know, like a huge, I don't know. Like it's amazing they've been able to sustain for so long, right? Like I was like, that's cool, but yeah, I don't know why we were chosen, honestly. Some people in that group, I'm like, you totally make sense for Disney. Yeah, I don't know.
Not,
and I was
not
like,
us though.
I think maybe
I feel like we're talking too much shit to me, you know?
but maybe they wanted to like bring people like you guys to like broaden Disney's
Diversify.
audience. Yeah, you know?
And I mean, honestly, like it did that for me. Like I hadn't been to like a Disney park since I was a kid. And going to Disney World, I was like, I get it. Like I absolutely get it. This is so cool. The technology is so cool. Like I freaking loved it. I didn't love the Disney cruise as much, but the park, I was like, I could see myself like coming back here. I would have to go as a VIP now, but I mean,
Because there's no other way.
yeah, now I've experienced the good life.
Well, that's what I was saying too. Like when we were there, me and Jizzy, I'm sure you guys are doing the same thing. We're like Googling how expensive these trips are. I was like, whoa, this not only is like work, like you're outside in the heat on your feet all day, but you're paying thousands of dollars to do it. Like it was amazing. Like you said, I was like, holy shit, this is cool. But
Yeah.
at what cost, right?
Yeah, because like, do they know that Italy exists? And like,
Emma and I kept saying that to each other when we were walking around. We're like, this is so
Totally.
expensive what we're doing, but like Italy, you know?
like all of Europe
Yes.
exists. Like there's Bali.
Yes.
Like there's just so many
Mhm.
places
Mhm.
that you could go and like relax. And and people who like get married at Disney too and like do their honeymoons at Disney. I'm like, but you know, there's like other places, right?
Yeah. And
Like I
a Disney wedding is absurdly priced. Like
My friend's brother got married in Disney, and it was like so like they got married like in the castle. It was like so expensive. And the thing is with that too is like it's so busy. So like I remember they were like, oh yeah, they block off the castle for like an hour. Like you don't even get to like a day. Like is it worth it? I don't know.
that's
Crazy,
insane.
that is wild.
Right?
But
Yeah.
I mean, overall though, it was so fun. Like all the like I felt like, and you know, it was y'all's trip, but I felt like we were like treated like royalty there. Like, oh, okay, you guys get to go here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like all the VIP viewing areas for the fireworks and like all the fast track like lightning lane passes and private lunches and whatever.
Like
It
that.
was great. It was bougie. Like I was like, this is awesome. And I remember kind of like, I think we were all a little nervous for the trip because of how exhausting they were making it sound. They were like, oh, you're getting up at 5 a.m. You're going to bed at midnight. Like, and I was like, oh, so I'm a tired girl. Like we have a group chat, you guys. And all of us girls were like, I'm sorry, like, can we take naps? Like, so I was like, I'm actually very nervous about this. But it was like such a whirlwind week. It was so fun. So like every day was so fun. And we were just like treated so well. And honestly, like experience of a lifetime.
No,
Definitely. Despite us like saying, that's the thing, like despite us saying we're not Disney girls, there's truly no shade to that comment because the trip was amazing. The people who put it on were amazing to us. We would never have this opportunity if we weren't online. So very, very lucky for sure.
Yeah.
I know. Wait, Kat, have you been on other brand trips?
Yes.
Okay, so
Just
how does
like
this one
some
like
random
compare?
Yeah. Different because it was so big. I don't know about you guys. All the other ones I've been on have been really small. Have been like
this was huge.
10 people. This was like hundreds of people that you know we didn't really know.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I felt like because it was so big. Like we already knew each other because we were in the program together, and like obviously I got to know. You know, we all got to know like each other's plus ones and stuff, which made it so much fun. But I feel like the other trips I can think of like 10 people who I'm like, oh, I'm cool with these people now and I really like them because I got to know them on the trip. I feel like the Disney trip, it's weird to say, I almost got to know less people because there was more people there.
True, because you were never with like the same people at the same time.
It's like
Exactly.
it wasn't an intimate experience at all. It was the opposite of intimate.
Josie brought me years ago on, you ever see when people, they run those Lexus trips?
Ooh.
No.
You guys
I
should try to
feel-
get in there.
Yeah.
It was great. Josie brought me to Nashville with Lexus, and it was like 20 people, all like people that you're like, oh, I love all these people, just like cool girls. And it was like day and night, cool, fun experiences. Like we made like hats one day and boots, and like it was just so interesting. And again, it's like stuff you probably would never do yourself, but it was such a blast getting to do it in that capacity for sure.
That's so fun. Honestly, my dream is to be someone's plus one. Tori.
Put it out there.
Tori is my like professional plus one.
No, I have been the plus one on quite a few brand trips. Like honestly, any brand trip I've ever been on, I've been the plus one. I've literally never, I'm like, can't ever get invited to save my life. I don't know what it is, but
trust me, I totally get that. But I also think like, I don't know, this industry, as solo as it is, your friends make it so much better. And like, it's like, it feels like it's like a group thing. You know what I mean? So when one person gets, I just always feel like if, one person gets a really cool collab, like it's a win for the team, really.
Oh, totally.
Exactly.
Totally. And which y'all know this about me. I'm the first, like if anyone needs like a contact, I'm like, here you go, get that money. They have a budget. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
no, Tori like single-handedly made my income for me in 2024.
That's a good ass friend.
That is a good ass friend.
Dude, I love that. But it's not like I don't know. I think there's room for everybody, right? Because everybody shares their own thing, and even if you're in the same like niche per se, you have different personalities, life experiences, like all the things. And I just think it's like brands like know your friends too. I feel like they'll work with one person, then they'll work with your friend. It's nice.
No,
I love it.
Yeah. No, it's so great. Also, wait, I want to ask you guys this because this happened to me after the Disney trip. Did you guys accidentally get gifted like Disney merch? Like, they did a collab with Disney and then they just assume that you were a Disney adult after that, which by the way, y'all know this, but to everyone listening, don't get confused. I'm not a Disney adult either. So, because this happened to me. These blankets, not SoundCloud.
Sand something.
Yeah, they sent me a Disney blanket and I was like,
you were like, wow, just what I wanted.
I was like, thank you so much, but you have me confused. I know you saw my vlogs because it was like just when I was just posting all of them. And so they just were like, oh, perfect. And I was like, and then it happened like twice, like, because then someone else happened to do like a Disney collab right then. And I was like, no, I'm getting branded.
You're like, I was the plus one. Like,
it wasn't even my trip. They made me use the ats and the hashtags too.
I thought you were gonna say, did you get flooded with people asking you for the Disney contact? Because I did. Like every day, someone new would be like, "Oh my god, how'd you work with Disney? How'd you work with Disney? How'd you work?" I was like, I'm about to put a PSA on my story. Here's the email. Anybody else wants it? Here's the email. Like, please stop asking.
You gave it out because they specifically were like,
I know. Well, certain people, they were like, all right, so certain people that I was like, you are a Disney creator, you would be so perfect for this. I was like, you're welcome to pitch Little Cinema and say we know each other and you'd be a good fit for this. But like random people that were like, their account had nothing to do with Disney, I was like, I just, not that, like you said to her, I'm more than open to helping anybody, but sometimes it's like things kind of come out of nowhere and you're like, I don't even know you, so I don't necessarily owe you my personal information.
Yeah, no, totally. No, I'm down to help anyone, but the only caveat to that is if a brand asks me not to, then I just don't, because
then she only sends it to me.
You said, so that actually means Hannah.
Yeah. It's like, don't tell anyone. Okay, but I'm telling my best friend. Like, obviously.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, if you tell me a secret, she'll know too. But
nothing wrong with it, I mean, that's what friendship's for.
Yeah.
Well, you chose really good plus ones for the trip, Kat. I love Josie. I mean, I was like fangirling with her because I followed her for so long. And I was like,
She's
wait,
great,
I love her. And now we're like friends. And I'm like, Thanks, Kat. And then Kate, too, had not come across my desk, but I freaking love her, too. So
Kate
good job.
was DMing me earlier. Well, voice memoing me. She memos me like 7-minute memos daily, just like about like what's going on in her day. And she's
so
like, tell the girls hi.
I love her. She's
I
so
love-
good.
best.
Yeah,
so
Kat brought
silly.
2 different +1s, you guys. She brought one for the parks and one for the cruise. And I was like, way to maximize that. Like,
I could not get someone to be like, I have 7 days for Disney Girl. Like, it was just, I think it was a pretty big commitment, you know, because even like, I'm sure you guys agree, like, even if you're, you know, at like a corporate job, you really only have a certain number of days. So I feel like everyone I talked to was like, girl, like, I have another trip. I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I love.
So yeah, it worked out really good. I think it's a nice way to like get to know people better too. Me and Josie have been on like 4 trips together, and every time I'm like, I love you. Like, it's nice for sure.
You know what I thought was funny? Hannah and I have talked about this is, you know, at the end of that brand trip, like how they were all like, oh yeah, we'll definitely work with the, oh wait. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, yeah, so where's the,
And even for the people that really deserved it, like Helen, like there were some people that were part of our group that were like big, yes, oh my gosh, big Disney creators and like the loveliest people. And I feel like would have been so perfect for opportunities.
I remember like on the last day, we were all like emotional, like saying our goodbyes, like on the cruise. And they were like, the Disney Treasure is coming out this year. And we were like, we're all going to go on this like other Disney cruise. And I'm like, I didn't get the email. Like,
never again was in contact with. And it's just like so interesting. I totally get too being like, we're going to work with you. And then like maybe your plans change, but just interesting. I feel like the way they pitched the program to us was kind of different than how it panned out. So
yeah, we did just get an invite to go down to Disneyland in like early February to meet like the new cohort, which is interesting because usually it happens in the fall. So I don't know what happened this last year, but I obviously can't go because I'll be like about to have a baby, but it sounds fun.
Are you going to go?
No. No.
From the East Coast.
Right. If I was in California, I feel like because like, you know, okay, Helen, people in California, it makes so much sense. Or if you're close in like Vegas or something, completely understand. But yeah, I feel like that seems like a trek that I unfortunately will not be making, but sweet to offer for sure.
Yeah. And it's not like they would pay for travel and hotel and stuff. Like they just like give you like a 1-day parks pass. And you go to like a reception. So
okay, yeah, that's different than I thought. So
not a trip. Not a trip.
I think that's what people don't realize sometimes with like certain opportunities, like even just like I'm sure you guys get invited to like a local like events all the time. Like I feel like I could go to an event like nightly if I would say yes to everything, but a lot of it just is kind of like, not that it's not cool and like you're not honored to be invited, but like, you know, you still have to drive somewhere, you still have to fly somewhere, you still have to park, pay to stay. Like you can end up spending so much more money than like something is really worth anyway.
Yeah.
That's even like, I feel like people kind of don't understand about like New York Fashion Week and stuff like that. It's like that's all that kind of stuff is like an investment, you know? So, and it would be worth it probably if like you guys were Disney creators, you know what I mean? Like if you're a Disney creator, then it like makes sense, but obviously not the niche here. Thank you so much though, Disney. And if you want to invite any of us on anything, sign us up.
We will gladly accept.
We had so much fun. And next I'm going to have a child so I can bring her and she'll be really cute. And because there were so many kids on this trip, which I was like shocked about.
Me too.
I thought it was like a very adult trip, and they like asked us, they were like, you're bringing kids? I was like, what what to a brand trip? And then there were like so many kids there and I was obsessed.
No, I thought it was so funny too because I forgot about so many kids. And I remember my flight from Boston to Orlando was like filled with children, and I was like, I forgot that there's like this many children in the world because I'm just like not surrounded by them.
Tori was like texting me like, why are there so many kids on my flight? And I was like, because you're going to Disney World.
It's so funny too because I feel like you can speak to this story like being from Florida. I feel like Orlando is just like fully Disney territory. Like if you're going to Orlando, like you're going to Disney.
Yeah, like section it off. They should just call it Disney. Just like write Disney across that area of Florida.
Okay, well, Kat, I know you just bought a new house. I mean, not just.
No, you're good.
Tell us everything.
Yeah, so we closed on this house in August, so it's been like half a year. It's been good. It's been good. I feel like you own your house, right, Hannah?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So I feel like it's such a journey and like I don't know, I feel like people have this like homeowner clout that it's like, why would you ever rent? You're wasting your money. No, I stand renters.
Yeah.
Rent, girl, you rent because
Mm-hmm.
they take care of all your shit for you. Honestly, it was just like good timing. So I used to work with the building that I lived at. It's kind of an interesting thing. So I worked with this company that owned a bunch of different buildings and I would help to promote their buildings in Philly, which was really fun. But after like 4 years, I was like, all right, I'm kind of over my living situation being tied to my work. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
every time I go down the elevator in like my PJs to pick up my DoorDash, like I see someone that I'm like working with. Like,
Don't love that. Yeah.
yeah, like a little too close to home. So yeah, we started looking for a house last year and found one in a couple months. But with, I would love to hear about your situation too. People are like, oh my gosh, buying a house is so fun. Not even to make anyone feel like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. It was not fun. Not
No.
fun, right?
No.
Like it's so
It's
stressful.
not like buying like a purse. Like
Totally.
it's not fun. No.
Well, and I feel like they make it like, you know how on all these home shows they make it seem like you're the one with the leverage. Like you go into a house and you're like, I love it here. And they're like, great, what will you offer us? No, no, no. You're competing against so many other people. Like we bid on 5 houses before we got this one, which was the sixth. And I feel like you just care less and less every time. Like the first house, I was like, this is my home. We
Yeah.
didn't get it. I'm like, the next couple houses, I'm like, throw an offer in. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah. No, it's such a
It'll work.
hard thing, like psychologically, because you have to picture yourself living there and you have to like be like, all right, this will be my baby's room and this is what I do at the kitchen. And then you don't get the house and it breaks your heart and you're like, well, I'm never doing that again. Like, fuck that.
No, that's like an emotional roller coaster, you know? Sounds like an
Totally.
abusive relationship, you know?
Absolutely. And you're giving them everything and more. Like that's the crazy thing about this market too. Like we'd offer like 50K over on a house. And like, I feel like in the past, you know what I mean? Like they'd be like, whoa, oh my God. Now they're like, sorry, not enough. We have an offer that's 100 over. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
fuck me then.
All
No.
cash, no contingencies. Like you have to sign tomorrow. Like the end. Like, yeah, it's actually insane. And I mean, I didn't even know it was like that across the rest of the country because I'm in one of the craziest like housing markets in the country in like Silicon Valley. And to hear that it's even like that in Philly, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, what is going on?
Right. And like even just pricing different areas too. I'm sure you guys like are like Zillow girls like I am. Like I walk around and look at pricing of things. People would be fucking blown away. Like even when my parents come and like will hang out with me in the city, I'll be like, that's worth this, that's worth this. But like that thing, like things are just so overpriced too. Like it just feels like you're paying so much for not a lot. So anyway, and I'm very impressed that you managed it in California because I feel like that's a whole feat.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I like shared this video when I was looking because I found this like shack that was priced like just under $1 million. And it was like total tear down. And I shared it on TikTok and it went viral. And everyone was like, but do you know where that is? Like that location is amazing. And I'm like, it is 4 pieces of wood for $1 million. Like I get, you get the land. Okay. But are you freaking kidding me? Like that's what we're expecting these days.
It's crazy. And interest rates are, which they've come down a little bit, but like still crazy. Still crazy.
It's not
So
right
bad.
because it's like you could afford, I'm sure you guys feel the same way. You could afford a much higher priced house if the interest rate was lower. So it like really kicks you down, right? And I also feel like you go into the house buying process thinking you're going to do this, you're going to do this. So we were in a 3-bedroom apartment, which was super lucky. Got a discount from working with them. I bought a 2-bedroom house. And it's funny because we were like, we're definitely not buying under 3. No, there was just no way. It's like you have to give up certain things. Like we have a yard and a porch, which is like crazy for the city. But yeah, you have to give up a bedroom. So you get what you get for sure. And I think you just have to realize like not everything's going to be perfect, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's property taxes, which I bought a condo when I was 24 with John. That was our first place. Property taxes come around and I'm like, what is this? I did not know that was a thing. Who let me buy a house without telling me about property taxes? It was like $5,000 that I had to pay. And I was like, I don't have it. Like, what am I supposed to do? I didn't know this was a thing. And now I'm like, okay, like we have to like expect, like now I pay like $6,500 twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It doesn't even
crazy.
surprise me. It's crazy though, right? Because you're like, where's that going?
Wait, literally where?
Uh-huh. I'm with you. It's city taxes are crazy. It's just so much more than you bargained for. So we have this like little yard in the front, which is so goofy because nobody else on the street does. It's like a city, so it's concrete and like I have grass. So when we got the house, my dad's like, "You need sod." I'm like, "All right." So if you guys have never seen sod, essentially it's like a giant carpet of grass that they come and roll out onto your
Oh.
dirt. So it like grows in perfectly, essentially. So
Mhm.
we get sod. Everyone that walks by is like, "Oh, your grass." Wow. I'm like, oh my God, I am the grass queen of this fucking neighborhood. I'm holding it down for everybody. I'm watering it for 40 minutes a day. That's what they told me for 3 months. 3 months. I get a water bill. I get a water bill. It's like $575. I was like, oh my God, no one told me that having sod would be this expensive, but I'm like, I have to do it. I have to do it for my neighbors. So it's just a cross to bear, to be honest. It's a cross to bear to be the one with the grass.
Oh my God.
The grass queen.
Dude, I'm like, I'm doing it for everybody.
You're welcome.
After
You're like walking around with like a tip box, like any donation.
No, I swear to God, like kids will be like, ooh, I'm like, I know, you're welcome, baby. It's so funny because like there's parks, right? But nobody has their own grass. So yeah, it was interesting. The things you learn, right?
But that's so cute though. Like seeing you like take over like home ownership and like doing all this is I love watching it. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like teaching me stuff. Like I love watching your Instagram stories because I feel like
You're
that's
so
like
cute.
where you like really dive into that kind of stuff.
Well, it's like they just surprise you too. Like the first month we were here, our homeowners insurance got canceled. And I was like, oh, so we have a tree. Shocker. There's a tree in the grass. And again, nobody else has a tree. So we have the fucking tree. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so pleased we have a tree. This is beautiful. No, no, no. The tree is touching the roof. So they canceled the
Oh my
insurance.
God.
No.
So my dad is on our roof, just like my 75-year-old father, with like a chainsaw tied to a pole, trying to cut the tree so that we can get insurance. And me and my boyfriend Zach are out the window, like, you're doing so good. You're doing like what? It's just like the shit you learn that you're like, I'm sorry, are you okay? There's water in the basement. It's a whole thing. And it's
It's
like
a
you don't,
full-time job.
isn't it? And you don't know until you know. Like, I hate when people make you feel stupid, but you're like, I've never dealt with this before. Like, if there was water in my basement, it would be my landlord's problem before.
Exactly. Like there's no class that teaches you how to own your house and teaches you about property taxes and interest rates and what to do about broken appliances. Like no one's teaching you this stuff. You just have to learn as you go.
So true. It's so true. I feel like and you know, it's different for everybody too, but I think like, I don't know about you guys, Hannah, but for us, we were like, this isn't like a forever home. So I think in my head that made it a much easier decision. I think a lot of my friends that were like, you know, really wanted to have the kids right away and stuff, it was more of a forever home for them. And I think that as somebody that's has a harder time making decisions, I think that would have really stressed me out.
Yeah, that was hard. It was actually crazy what happened to us because this all happened so quickly. So we go to Italy on this like family trip. And it was on that trip that I was like, you know what? I think I actually want to have a kid. And so we get home, it's May. By June, we bought our house. Like it happened that fast because I was like, well, we need to move out of our condo. We need to sell our condo. We need to find a house that we can like raise our kid in. Like this is how I work. I'm like, I
But
made a
that's
decision.
so
Like,
you. Like, Hannah, that's like just that's a personal thing. Like that's like a you thing. You know what I mean? Like,
because like once it takes me a while to make a decision. Once I do, I'm like, we have to go. Now is the time. But this was literally the first house we looked at, which is like unheard of, you know?
I'm shocked.
And we just like, we fought for this.
we
were
like,
like,
this
this
is the
it.
owners, like a like sympathy letter, like, oh, no.
That's what got us the house.
Stop. I am so jealous because we put in some of those letters and then my realtor was like, I think that they like hurt you. So we weren't able to put them in after. But how funny. So my boyfriend owns a tattoo shop and he's a tattooer. And I like, he's like moving his shop to the city and stuff. And I'm like, people love a neighborhood boy. So in the write up, I'm like, oh my gosh, he has this business and is excited to move it to the city. We don't get 3 houses in a row. He's like, please stop telling people I'm a tattoo artist. he's like, they hate me. That's why we're not getting that.
That's crazy.
So I think people can definitely judge you ahead of time too. But yeah. I love an emotional appeal,
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we were like, we want to buy this house and like have babies. And the woman who lived here before had been here for like 50 years and raised her whole family here. And so she was like, well, I want to go with them because they want to like have the same life, like stay here forever. And
she's like, the legacy lives on.
Yeah, seriously. I think that's really sweet. I like that though, because I feel like some people are like, my like parents' house were always saying they could sell it, whatever. They would want to give it to someone who has like a family. Like it's funny when people are like, I don't care who it goes to. I'm like, I think I would care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
I would care. Although you care until you can't sell it. And then you're like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll take any offers. Because we like could not sell our condo for a while.
I'm surprised.
I was so surprised.
I'm shocked.
Like when we bought this condo, they were like, oh my God, best investment, genius. You guys are like gonna make so much money. And then post COVID, they were like, we didn't know COVID was gonna happen and no one wants a condo now. So like, good luck.
I'm like so surprised by that because I remember we looked at a couple condos too and it was like again, right? You guys get it. You start and you're like, I'm buying a house. It's this many bedrooms. It's this many bathrooms. Then you start to see inventory and you're like, okay, any of these things could change and it would be fine. But yeah, like condos, people are like, they don't have as much resale. And I'm like, that's so weird though because it seems like an easier decision to make because for some people it's short term. You know what I mean?
You don't have like a lot of the like things that even you're talking about, like your basement isn't going to flood. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, certain things are just taken care of.
Yeah, these people had like crazy requests. They were like, well, there's no in-unit laundry. Our laundry was literally right outside our back door. Like 2 steps. I was like, what are you upset about? They're like, we have to share it. I'm like, no one else does laundry here. I promise. Like, it's ours. They're like, well, wait, I want a backyard. I'm like, there is a backyard. It is basically private. No one else uses it. There were 3 people living in this condo. Like, it wasn't like a big thing. People were insane. They were like, well, I need 2 parking spots. I'm like, street parking.
Like, you're like, girl, get with the program. That's what's funny, right, about the city. I always like joke with my family, like this house that's like 3 down from us is like really big. It's like 6 beds, but it's worth like not $950. It's like close to $1 million. And it doesn't have parking and everyone's like, LOL and I know the kids that own it, they're so sweet. I'm like at them buying like $1 million property, but then like circling the block at night. It's so funny. Oh my God. The things you give up to be in the city for sure.
Yeah, seriously. I'm not even in the city and I had to still give up a lot.
Totally. Tori, do you think you guys will kind of pick more of like a home base soon, or do you think you'll still do travel a lot?
This is something that we've been talking about like a lot lately. I feel like if I would be like, let's stop doing this, Matt would be like, yes, like tomorrow. Like he is definitely ready. We just also have like more because he's recently decided, I don't even think I've talked about this on here, but he's recently decided that he wants to go to CRNA school, which is like nurse anesthetist school. I don't even think I've told you that, Hannah. That school's like more expensive, whereas before he wanted to do, what's that called?
Like an NP.
Yeah, nurse practitioner, which is like very cheap. It's only like $20,000. Granted, that's a lot of money, but it's like compared to CRNA school, which is like $90,000 for the cheapest school, or $170,000 for that school. So I think he's like on board with doing this just like a little bit longer. Like our tentative plan right now is to do like 9 more months, and then we're going to go to Italy for 2 months after this next 9 months. And then I think we're going to do Hawaii, and then
Tori.
but only for like 3 months, I think, in Hawaii.
Only.
Yeah. You're literally living the dream.
Okay, no, Kat, isn't it crazy just like listening to her life? Like we're over here like, and then our basement flooded and we had to cut our tree back, and she's like, I think I'm gonna go to Italy and then like maybe Hawaii.
No, but I love having like friends like this because it's people that make you realize like I don't need to be here. Like I do not need to be here. Why am I here? You know? Oh my god. Dude,
But sometimes I feel
love it.
like I'm in like an alternate universe and everyone else is like living like a different life and I'm just living I'm in just a different world and like everyone
You
else.
are, but I love it.
Yeah.
Like
do it
I
while
tell
you
Tori,
can do it, you know?
yeah, exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
embrace it. Like, don't rush it. Like, because trust me,
Absolutely.
once you like settle down, it's gonna be different.
Yeah.
It's great, but it's different. And like, enjoy every place that you want to live. Like, go everywhere you can possibly go. Like, I love this life for you.
Yeah. It's super fun, but it does get very lonely because like, you know, you don't have like a lot of stuff buoying you, like, you know, especially like groups of friends. And I'm a very social person. Like, I don't know if it like comes across as much in like my content, but I'm like, if you ever meet me in real life, I'm so outgoing and I always almost forget how outgoing I am until I'm in a social situation. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like thrive off of like meeting and like people. And so like as you can imagine, someone like that, like having to like be isolated a lot because of like my lifestyle is difficult, but it's just really magical and cool. So I also like wouldn't don't want to give it up, but it does like weigh on you, like because right now it's been like 4 years that we've been doing this, so
Wow.
it's kind of a long time to be living like this, and it does seem like it'll be probably about another year and a half of this and then we'll be back in California for a good bit. Yeah. But
Dude, that's crazy. Wait, that's so cool. So you guys will settle in but you're both from Florida, right?
well, actually, okay, so I didn't really finish the plan. So this is what we'll do. So tentatively, we're going to go back to California for like 2 to 3 years, and Matt's gonna get like the ER experience that he needs for that school. And then I think the cheapest school that I just mentioned that he wants to go to is that $90,000 one that happens to be in my hometown, which we don't want to go to like at all. But it's like $90,000 or $170,000. And the difference in being a nurse practitioner is like $120,000 a year, which is like about what he makes as a nurse practitioner, or I mean, as a travel nurse, or nurse anesthetist, which is like about $300,000 a year, and you work less. So it's like, could we do 3 years in our hometown, pay for his school out of pocket, you know what I mean, and just do 3 years in our hometown?
You're like, do we bite the bullet? I know. I totally get so many of my friends, like literally like 5 of my good friends are nurses and either like NPs or like CRNAs. So that's how I knew what you're talking about. But it's such a pay jump. I remember they were telling me that. I was like, holy shit, that's like a no-brainer kind of.
Yeah.
If you can do it, obviously.
It's just I do have like very much trauma associated with my hometown situation. So we'll see, like, but that's the tentative plan, and we wouldn't move exactly back to my hometown. We would probably move to 30A, which is like 20 minutes from my hometown. So I think I could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I would visit
30A, 20 minutes from my hometown. What? Camden is 20 minutes from my hometown. What? Kensington. That's literally crazy. Oh my God, sorry, I'm so jealous. Being born somewhere warm just seems wonderful.
I grew up in Panama City Beach, so like to me, I didn't realize how like I thought everyone had like a beach like super close to them. Like even if I knew that my beach was like outside my front door, but I didn't realize that like beaches, like I thought that everyone just lived in town, you know, like the equivalent to like in town, and then they could drive to the beach for the most part. So I just didn't realize a lot of people call like beaches like just bodies of water, and I'm like, that's not a beach, like, you know?
I like lake people, literally. I always think that about people that are like inland, because obviously we're all on the coast, so I'm only like 40 minutes from the beach. And I'm always like, ooh, what do you do in the summer? And they're like, we go on the lake. I'm like,
like, lake life is just different. It's fun, but it's different. It's not beach. Exactly. My job is beach.
Yeah. Our job is beach. I keep saying that's like the next move, like city move and then the beach move.
Yes. Yeah. God, I would give my left tit to live on the beach.
Listen, it's a possibility. You just put it out there. You might have to give the tip, but it could be worth it. You never know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's our tentative plan. I think we might look into having kids like when I'm in California, like when we go to California, and then that way we could be home for like those first 3 years, not home, but like in the area where I feel like Matt's mom at least is there. I don't know, whenever it's like in that stage where things are like a little harder. Everything's subject to change, but that's like the tentative life plan right now.
Wow.
So
nice.
I can't wait for your
amazing.
California life.
Oh,
Come
I
to
can't
me.
wait either. I feel like it's
Auntie
gonna
Hannah
be.
is waiting.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I feel like it's gonna be hard for us to leave California. So we'll see. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll bite the bullet and just like take out a loan for school and stay in California. That's always an option, but
That's
it's also
an option.
yeah, it's also hard because you could just pay for it, out of pocket, and then
Yeah. It's so tough, like quality of living too, right? Depending on where you live. Like Kate, who was with me on the trip, she lived in California for a year, 2 years about, and she was getting divorced, so she moved home, but she loved it. And like, obviously it's expensive, but at the same time, like, I don't know, people love to like shit on expensive places and be like, it's not worth it. No, it's definitely worth it. I walk outside every day and I'm like, fuck, it's cold. Like,
It is
I would pay more.
literally spring right here, like right now. Like mid-January, it has been in the 60s. My neighbors have been going to the beach, like in their little swimsuits. I'm
cute.
thriving. I'm thriving.
Oh,
yeah, and
This is why I live here.
And we lived in California for like 2 years doing travel nurse stuff. And so there's Matt really wants to go back to Santa Barbara. So that's like where we are planning
Such
on
a good
going
place.
back to.
It's awesome that you guys have been so many places too, because it gives you perspective on where you'd like to be long term, even if it's not
That's
long
so
term, right? If
helpful.
you're somewhere for 10 years. Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm always, whenever people are like, would you move? I'm like, yes, I would just need a reason to. Like, I'm always so impressed by people that just move like up and go for no reason. I'm like, when it's a job or something, you have a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
And then you can like experience it, whilst like getting paid. The idea of just like dipping seems, I don't know. I don't have like decision making quality like that.
But you know what? Like, I will say their seasons are like something really special. There's something like very special about seasons, and I love California. California is a magical place. But living in like the Boston area, like we have the past year or so, it's really cool to get to experience like true season, which you can appreciate because that's what you've gotten to experience your whole life.
So. Yeah, and that's something I've always felt like I was really missing. I'm like, I just want to live somewhere like that has seasons for like a year, because like it gets cold here, but it doesn't like snow and have that like magical like cozy winter feeling. And I'm like, just give me 1 year to experience it all, and then I'll be happy here forever. That's all I need.
No, totally. No, I think so too. And I also think like you kind of just got to make the best of it. Like I used to be like such like I fucking hate winter person. In the past couple of years, I'm like, girl, we're gonna make it fun. Like we're gonna get a warm jacket. We're gonna get a cocoa. It's gonna be good, because it has to be, right? You don't just want to like hate it. And I also think you appreciate it more when it's nice out, when it's not nice all the time. Like when it hits summer, I'm like, wow, this is like the best day of my life every day.
You just gotta lean in, I think, to the coldness.
Boston's so freaking cute though. I'm so jealous you have been for a minute. We went for my birthday, my 30th in June, and it's so beautiful. It's so clean.
I love it. It's so great. It's very like buttoned up and proper here. It's like an adjustment for me, like as far as like their style goes here, because like I feel like my style is like a little more like fun and like beachy. Colorful, and beachy. But
totally.
What I've loved about moving around so much is I've tried to like whatever is like my favorite about each of the places I try. It's like really like morphed my style. But
no, I love that. I think it's cool, and I like that every place has its own thing. Like it's fun. It's fun like being a part of something where you're from. I feel like, and until you live somewhere, you really don't get the hype ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like I'm like an observer of life. You know what I mean? I've just like observed so much. It's weird, It's
awesome. You guys are gonna look back and be like, wow.
I don't know if this is the pregnancy hormones, but I'm just sitting here like, I'm so happy for all of us.
so cute.
I'm like, wait, we're all thriving. We're all doing so well. Like, we're all in such different stages of life, but it's like so fun to like come together and talk about it and hear like Tori's like travel and Kat's new home era and my like baby era. And like, it's just like so beautiful.
No, it is. And I think in your like 20s and 30s, like all your friends are at like very different places, right? It doesn't mean that you can't all be best friends. Like I feel like so many of my friends have little kids, other friends are trying to get pregnant, other friends don't want kids and are moving and are doing this and that. Like I just think you can beat all and you all learn from each other. You know what I mean? Like it's always perspective is everything. It's nice to be able to have those shared experiences, but also be close with people who are kind of doing something different too.
It also makes you just like appreciate each stage, you know?
Totally. Yeah, I completely agree. Even like some people make you change your mindset too. Do you guys follow Lindsay Stackhouse?
Yeah.
You guys would, yeah, you would love her.
She's like she was a teacher before.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, Lindsay's so cool, but she's 40, and like we always joke because she's like literally like a decade older than I. But she's so cool and youthful and fun, and like she just had a baby 2 years ago, and I'm always telling her, I'm like, you're my life inspo. Like you like took time, did all the things, like I don't know, and she just is like such a cool girl, you know. Like I feel like with aging, everyone feels like you have to change, and like you don't.
Yeah.
It's inspiring, honestly.
I love that because that's like the season of life I'm in where I'm like, okay, I'm about to be a mom, but like this is cliche, but I want to be a cool mom, you know?
Totally.
Like
you're still young
demand
and cool.
it. Yeah. I'm only 30, almost 31. I'm like, I am cool. Like I tell John all the time, I'm like, we're not going to change, right? Like I'm still going to be cool. He's like, no, we're fucking cool. I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay, good.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page with that. Like, nothing will change. I'm a badass mama. That's it.
It's all a mindset for real. Like, I think people think they have to change, right? Because they're like, oh, I need to be like buttoned up. I'm a mom, or I need to like change. No, your kids are cooler.
Not in the year of our Lord 2025.
Hell yes. I also think like California people have like a forever young mindset, which is really cool.
Absolutely. Oh, I also just heard they're like raising the like geriatric pregnancy age to 40 here.
Oh,
isn't that cool?
Because me wanting to be like a 37-year-old mom.
That's
honestly
my number too. I'm like,
yeah, my girl. That's like sick.
I love it because like so many people here are having kids like so much later that they're like, yeah, geriatric is not 35 anymore. Like that is young.
Damn.
So I know, progressive. I'm like a teen mom. Like
you are, dude. You're literally. You know what? I was just talking about this. I like just said the other day to my friend, because a lot of my friends are married, but like I feel like it's like very 50-50. And like I just said to my friend, I was like, at 30, I don't think I'd be like a teen bride anymore. She was like, no, totally same page. We're both like, no, I think we've made it. It's all personal mindset. I think it's exactly too. Like just because someone else's path is different than yours doesn't mean yours is wrong or theirs. Like it just works for you. You got to follow your own intuition.
Exactly.
You know? No, totally. Yeah. I was the same way. I was in no rush to get married, and Matt and I had been together forever. Like we had been together for like 7 years before we got engaged, and I was like 31, I think, when we got married.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I think like, and I just think too, I feel like we're all kind of in like city-esque areas. Like you don't feel the pressure as much. I feel like when I'm in the burbs or like somewhere in the South, everyone's like, oh my goodness, you are just washed up.
No, but when I hear about like people, like there are people in my like mom groups or whatever who are like 22 having a baby, and I'm like, no, you're a child. Like I remember being 22. I was a child, fully a child. Like I was not. Your frontal lobe doesn't even like develop until 25. Like how are you having a baby when you are a baby?
I know.
But also like if that is your path, like, you know, love that for you. Could never have been my path.
I know. I don't like judge people like that, but it does make me a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. Like it just does. Like yeah. But not to say like to each their own, and I'm sure it's like never, if that's what they want and that's like what they've chosen for their selves, like then who am I to say like, oh, you know, that's sad. But I know it just, when I think about all that there is to experience in the world, I can't help it but get like a little sad.
Yeah, I mean, I was 22 and I was like, no, I'm never having kids. And now I'm like 30 and I'm like, whoa, like I'm about to have a kid. And we talk about this all the time because John and I got together when we were 20 and we used to be like, yeah, no, we're never having kids. And like, he's like, what if like 20-year-old us saw what was happening? I'm like, I wouldn't believe it. I would not believe it.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
It's
No,
always a surprise how much you change, you know?
when I was
Honestly.
22, I was like, couldn't find my keys, phone, or wallet anywhere. Like, I was
I still
blacked
can't.
out. Yeah.
I was blacked out. Yeah, exactly.
Over. Yeah. I mean,
No, for real. I was even thinking about it today. Did you guys meet, shout out, Cosette on the Disney trip?
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, cute little Disney. We sat with her at one of the tables and I like saw her post today because she's like a big TikToker about how like TikTok changed her life and she like paid her way through college and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, thinking that you just like got out of college and like have this career is like so crazy because that seems like it was so long ago, right? And I just feel like now being an adult, I have so much like, I don't know, more clarity about like who I am and like what I like and the people I like and like things I want to do. I just feel like then I was like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
so
No, I didn't know how to do anything at 22.
Right.
No.
And not that you can't like, I mean, that's what I mean. Like she seems to totally have it together. So I think some people just have like a different like mindset at that age and then other people just like need more time. But
Yeah.
I know it's very interesting.
And I think about the people who like when they were kids, they were like, I can't wait to be a mom. Like that was literally never me. Like the
Thank
Nara
you.
Smiths of the world. Like Nara Smith is 23 and she has 3 kids and she knows how to cook. I'm like at 23, I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to fucking load a dishwasher. I like knew nothing. And you're here like buying a house in Connecticut with your 3 children. Like
I know.
We could not be more different. We are not in the same world.
Totally. You make me feel so validated. Me and Josie have talked about that many times too. People that are like, it's really my calling to be a mom. I can't wait to be a mom. I've never thought that. I've never felt that. Do I see kids in my future? Yes. But sometimes I feel like as a woman, it makes you feel like disconnected that you're not like that. And I feel like people are like, oh, you're not maternal. I'm like, it's not that. I just feel like there's so many more things that I want to do, you know? Like we can do it all.
Exactly. Exactly. No, I say this to John all the time. I'm like, is there something wrong with me that I like literally didn't want to be a mom until like a year and a half ago?
Totally.
Like what's wrong with me? And I still even feel like that was pretty early. I'm like, to figure that out at 29 is impressive, I think. And then there are people over here like, when I was 5, I had a doll and I knew I wanted to be a mom and I couldn't wait. And I'm like, nope, I can't relate. But like, I love that for you, but I cannot relate.
No, I feel the same way. So
I appreciate that. I really do. Because people make you feel crazy. Like,
no, I know.
Oh my goodness.
Especially
I did like remember friends in high school who'd be like, if I get pregnant, I'm having this baby. I was like, whoa.
I was like, pro-choice, pro-choice.
No, I'm not doing that. It's so nice for you though.
Yeah. Love that for you.
You crazy bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I know. I'm inspired by the girls. I am. I'm like, good for you. But I have like older parents. I think that may have shifted my perspective a bit too, to not feel like my life is like a rush per se.
My parents aren't like my dad is like, I think 66. So he's
average.
Average age. He wasn't like a young parent and he wasn't like older. So
wait, your dad is 66 right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm correct. I think give or take 1 year on that.
Right.
I have literally done everything at the exact same time as my mom. She had me at 30. I'm having my daughter at 30. Of course, I'm having a daughter first, just like she did. We went to the same college. We had the same college job. We had the same major. We lived in the same building. Like,
oh my god,
our lives are the same.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Are you guys super close?
We are. Yeah.
That's so nice.
I know, but I'm like, of course. And part of me, I feel like actually felt a bit of pressure. I was like, if I have a baby, I want to have my baby at 30 because like, that's what my mom did. And like, we have the same life. And now I'm like, okay, well, I did it. Like I'm literally, my health chart is like, you will be 30.96 when you give birth.
That is like, crazy.
Just slipping in.
Oh my gosh.
She'd be so pissed if not.
She'd be like, well, now you ruined it.
Yeah, you fucking ruined it. I know. Well, I think like, you know, for all the people that have kids really young, I guess it's really nice because you have your parents in your life longer, but I feel like vice versa is just, yeah, it's definitely different. And I feel like, I don't know about you guys too. I feel like I am lucky because I don't have people in my life that are constantly like asking me. I feel like a lot of people, it's like, it's a lot of pressure.
It
you know?
is.
Oh, well, all of my friends back home, because I'm from like the South, kind of like the part of Florida I'm from is like right next to Alabama. And none of my friends got like married super young. Like they all actually waited till they were about 30 to get married, which was surprising. With the kids thing, they also waited a little later to do that, but they all have kids and they're all like in the thick of it. And they're all in like their second kid now. And they're all looking at me like, what are you doing?
You're like, to each their own. I'm traveling. I'm going to Italy for 2 months. Like,
yeah, but I
priorities.
Yeah, I do feel like a little bit of judgment there. Like, I love them so much. I know that they love me, but I feel it. Like, it's definitely there. And also, what sucks too is like, it's almost like you lose a little bit of like common ground. Actually, a lot of common ground there because they're just viewing it differently, and to them it's like this is the most important thing, and they're like, how could you just not do this? You know what I mean? And especially with our relationships and people you grow up with, it's like if your lives have been so parallel for so long and then all of a sudden they're just like take such a turn, it's been like hard, you know?
Okay, hot take though, like this might sound mean to me, that sounds like jealousy, that they're like, oh, I made this choice because that is what like I was expected to do, and they're looking at your life and they're like, oh, I want her to be kind of miserable too. I don't know. Is that bad?
Well, do you ever feel like you like went through a period where you were like, I wish I wanted something different? Like I remember when not all of them, like it's very 50-50, but a lot of my good friends were getting married like 25, 26. I feel like it was constantly like, not from them necessarily, like their family members and stuff. When are you getting engaged? When are you getting engaged? You've been in a relationship forever. When are you getting married? When are you getting married? It was just like never ended. I was like, I'm not even telling people I have a boyfriend because it's going to be the question and I don't need to explain my life to you. And I feel like sometimes I was like, I feel like I'm so past this now and I feel like I'm comfortable with my path. But I feel like for like 3 years, I was like, I wish I wanted what you wanted because then people would shut the fuck up. And also, it would just be easier because then it's like people don't question your path because it's more, not generic, but just more expected.
Yeah. Well, honestly, the whole marriage thing, they didn't really do that. So I would have felt like that if it would have been about marriage. But having a kid is such like a personal thing. And I know like right now that I don't want that in this, what we're doing. Like, because it just like logistically would not be possible.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm like, what are like, I have things that I'm doing. I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's just,
I feel like I had that for a while about my sexuality, that I was like, it would be so much easier if I could just be a lesbian. Right? Like
honestly, that's fair. That's totally fair. I'm like, I get along with the girl who's so great. Like,
exactly. Like if Tori and I were like attracted to each other and we could get married, just so many laughs.
Fun. Yeah,
we would just like get around town. Yeah, like it would be so fun. Like I'm for the girls. Unfortunately, I love men. Ugh.
I know. It's literally, I remember watching the Barbie movie and the part, if you go, I'm sure you've seen it, the part where they're like, you're pretty, you're pretty, you're pretty. My boyfriend's like, this is you and your friends. He's like, this is you. Sometimes. I'm like, it's so fun though. Like,
it is. I love it.
A girl. It's like the best.
I know.
Oh, I know. We're blessed, ladies. Well, and then you get to connect with people and like have these. I feel like the whole like girlhood thing too is like very lovely, especially like in this day and age and as adults. I feel like when we were younger, it wasn't really. I feel like it was like more pitting people against each other, and I feel like now girls, it's really like community and you know, supporting each other.
Which is what I love about this industry that we're in, because it's such a woman-run industry, and to be able to like support each other and like give each other contacts and like really be open about like money and taxes and like all this stuff, it just feels like such a girl supporting girl industry, and I love it. And I think that's why people hate influencers, because they're misogynistic, and that's my other hot take.
Dude, I'm on that page. I mean, even when I get an email and it's like, hey girl, smiley face XX, I'm like, yes, this is my industry, baby. I'm like, I can't imagine emailing a man. Like,
I know.
No,
why would a man be here?
Oh my gosh, if there is like a male who emails me because of a brand partnership, I'm like, Ariana,
Joe?
what are you doing here?
Literally. Sometimes I'll like always look them up too because they'll have like a masculine name and then there'll be a woman and I'm like, okay, like I feel comfortable again.
It's just Joey.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like the exclamation, it's like the punctuations. You can just tell, like
you can tell.
Totally.
My husband's been helping me a little bit with responding to emails here and there sometimes, and he'll like go to type out an email and I'll be like, no, like exclamation.
You sound so mean. Yeah. Where's the heart? Where's the smiley face?
Smiley face. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Also, whenever a man emails me about something, they're so bad at this. Like they don't know shit about this industry, and it's not. I'm like,
go do something else.
Stay in your lane. Like go be an executive. I don't know.
Go be an accountant, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you have some wood to chop or something?
Are you a contractor?
Yeah. Go fix the toilet.
Oh, that's so good. Well, it's so funny too, and I'm sure if you've done any like house projects, you can relate. We got like a window put in the front of the house, and like dealing with the contractors is such like a silly thing. It's always me because I'm so particular. Like I feel like if Zach did it, I'd be like, so you're doing it wrong. So I remember with the window, the guy was like, I have never had someone ask me as many questions as you did. I'm like, I'm just a girl that wants to know. You know?
Exactly. Nothing wrong with that.
As you should.
Thank you.
As you should. You know what I've been seeing more and more with like, because I follow Kylie Kadich, right? I'm sure you all do. And she's been in her like handy era where she's like, oh my gosh, the best way to paint is with like an eyebrow pencil and like, or brush or whatever. And now I'm getting all these badass women who are like, and here's how to put in a window for the girls. And they just explain it so well. And I'm like, John explains it to me and I'm like, what? And then a girl explains it to me on TikTok and I'm like, no, I could do that. Like, I'm going to go pick up a hammer.
I'm buying a saw. That's what I said. I was like, I'm building a table this year. Every man in my life said, all right, cool.
Do it. Like, because girls can do anything. That's the thing. Men cannot do anything, but girls can.
Mm-hmm. Who run the world, you know what I mean?
Power to the people.
I love that you're having a girl, too. That's so fun.
Thank God. I just said to Tori, I was like, can you imagine if it was a boy?
Devastated.
I know. It would just not be as much fun. Like, it just wouldn't. Like,
I will say my friend has a little boy, and Lindsay has a boy, and he's, like, incredibly cute and such a little peach pie, but I mean, I just, it's so hard. Girls' clothes are so freaking cute, too.
I know.
And wait till you see the nursery cat. It is so cute. It's so cute.
Freaking cute. I can't wait.
Thank you. Seriously. I just designed everything. I'm obsessed. I'm like about to film like the big nursery reveal and it is so perfect. And I'm like, you guys are going to die.
So
like, I want to live there. That's my favorite room in the house. Like, I should probably do that for my own room because I hate my own room, but her room, perfection. I'm like, you better appreciate this girl.
It's so cute.
Oh, I love that.
Wait.
It's like you get to live out your own dreams a little bit with your kids. Yeah. Which is so sweet. Love that.
Because I'm like, all right, she's probably never going to let me touch her room again. So like, let me do everything I want for now. And then when she wants to like redo it, like that'll be so fun. Because like I'll have a little buddy to like design it with. Cute. Can't wait.
Did you guys do a lot of the work yourself or was it more like outsourced stuff? Like painting and stuff?
Oh, we've done everything. So
that's amazing.
If you don't know Kat, John actually comes from a construction background.
Oh, no way.
So he is like fully remodeling our front bathroom right now. He built this bookshelf behind me.
What? I'm sorry.
He put in a tub, like an actual from shower to tub. Like
he ripped out a closet, like several walls and a shower and put in a bathtub.
You are so #blessed. What?
So blessed.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I feel like just like being able to learn too from someone like that. That's like so freaking cool.
No, he taught me how to use a drill. Like he taught me how to hang stuff. Like I feel so competent. And then I'll like send him videos and be like, I know how to do this now. And he's like, hell yeah. Unfortunately, I can barely walk these days. But when I pop this kid out, I'm back, bitches. I am back.
You're gonna build a whole new home. That is so badass. Good for you guys. That must be so much fun too, because you can dream up projects. Like I feel like every day we talk about a project, but it's like you don't know what's possible. You know, like I feel like he probably is on the in.
I don't even get it. Like he wants to do our kitchen next, and I was like, how are we going to afford that? Like kitchen remodels are so expensive, and he was like, no, I'll do it. And I was like, oh. Well, okay. Like,
thanks, babe.
I want to like completely redo the kitchen. And he's like, yeah, so we'll move the fridge here. We'll put in cabinets here. We'll do, and I'm like, how does your brain work like this? Like you just like see it and you're like, I can do that. I'm like, I didn't even think it was possible for like other professionals to do that. And you're like doing it by yourself.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I'm sure you guys always see the TikToks and it's like when you remember you have free will and it's like someone like changing something completely. I feel like that's me every day. I'm like start knocking out the back of the house.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure.
That's like the best part of being a homeowner. You're like, I could literally just take this wall out. Like for a while, I wanted to put in like one of those secret bookcase stores where you like pull a book and he was like, sure. It's like, we could just do that. He's like, why not?
Listen, someone that supports your dreams. What a guy.
What a guy. Oh my God. I'm so blessed.
That's like important though, for sure. Cause I feel like when people are like, oh my gosh, my husband, boyfriend, whatever is so picky. I was literally just looking at pink tile and Zach's like, yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I'm like, that's right.
Smart man. It's Barbie's dream house.
No. All right. That sucks for you. Totally.
All right, you guys. Well, I feel like we've been yapping, and we could probably go on for many more hours, to be honest. But we will cut it here. Don't forget to follow Kat. We're going to put her handle in the show notes so you can see it there. We'll tag her on our Instagram. But like, she's a good time.
Yeah, she
everywhere.
Posts a lot of fashion content, home content, but definitely fashion is her shiner.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
If you want to like, have anything that
come through,
go follow our girl.
The story come through.
Yeah. She's obviously a good time.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun.
Yes. And obviously, you guys know you can follow us, Hanley Lifestyle and Tori Sunshine, and we are Internet Girls Pod. That's girls with a Z.
Yeah.
Because that's how we roll. You can watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts, and you can rate and review every single one if you want, because we would give you a big virtual hug. Just saying.
Follow us all on YouTube, please, because TikTok might be going away, and I am, spiraling. And
me as well. Give us a job.
Me as well. Yeah. Remember, we're not the people you want to protest. We are the little people.
Yes, exactly.
Support us.
Yeah, so follow us all on YouTube, personally.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for being here, Kat. It was so good to have you. We'll have to do this again. And with that,